Hey guys, Shnickerman here, back with another video. I know it's been a lot of time, but today I'm excited to finally talk about the Digimon video game tier list. Now, a while back I did two comprehensive videos talking about Digimon video games released in North America and kind of a general synopsis, what I thought of them, and today we're gonna rank all of those Digimon video games, and I'm gonna kind of give you a general idea of why I'm placing them where I'm placing them, and there will be some surprise picks. And I think it's kind of interesting too because it's been a while since I've played these games, so now I have more of a perspective of which ones I think are the best after thinking about it for a couple years. So without further ado, let's jump into that. Alright guys, so we've hopped into Tier Maker to make our Digimon video game tier list. You can search for Digimon video game tier list on Google and you can get something similar, follow along with me and call me out on my choices. But for this, I wanted to make sure I had a couple different tiers from S to E, and then also a category for games that we haven't played, because this will pretty much primarily be the North American releases. I'm not counting Digimon Masters or these two Japanese games which showed up on here. And so I think the best way to kind of start this is to think, okay, what's one game I kind of feel like is middle of the road, so I can kind of build from there. So I would say, looking at this list, I guess for me a pretty middle of the road game would be Digimon Battle Spirit, the first one. So let's call maybe Digimon Battle Spirit a C. And we'll consider that this is, it's a game, it exists. Is it something that I would play very much? No. But it is a Digimon game, so we'll put it as a C. So let's just go in order, I guess. So Digimon Survive, the newest entry into the series, and one that I definitely enjoyed. I would say that this is a game that I felt very strongly for the story. Combat-wise, I was a little bit disappointed, but I did enjoy the branching paths of the evolution. I enjoyed the multiple stories and the overall art aesthetic. So I think for me, Survive definitely is an A. There are better games, I think, but it's definitely a very, very solid game and entry into the series. So next on the list we have Digimon Battle Spirits 2. So I think already right off the bat I'm going to switch Battle Spirits 1 to a D and put Battle Spirits 2 to a C. Because when I played them, I do remember them being essentially the same game, but liking Battle Spirits 2 just a little bit more. So if we think about in terms of that, then I guess that Battle Spirits 2 would be a C and Battle Spirits 1 would be a D. Much rather prefer to play Battle Spirits 2. Okay, so next on the list we have Digimon World 3. Now this one is pretty tough because I do enjoy the game, but it is frustrating to play, which I guess that may be a common theme in this list of games anyway. So this is going to be one I think that we're also going to kind of place for now, and we may revisit it later. I'm going to say I'm going to put this at a B. Like I said, don't get mad at me yet. You can let me know in the comments. We may move this, but for now I'm going to put it there. All right. Now, this game is probably one that will irritate people, but for me, Digimon World Next Order is an S tier Digimon game. And I'll tell you why, because I have a lot of nostalgia for the original Digimon World. I feel like Digimon World Next Order is basically everything the original could have been and eventually did become, with more innovations and programming and everything like that. And again, by means of saying, is it a perfect game? To me, it kind of is. It was very grindy, but I did 100% this game and I thoroughly enjoyed most of my time with it. And I've also started playing the Japanese version of it as well, just to experience it for the first time again. So for me, Digimon World Next Order is S tier. Okay, now we have Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, the original. This one I think is also maybe another kind of controversial game. I really enjoyed what this game did for me to bring me back to the series, because this game is kind of what essentially brought Digimon back into my life and really helped me get kind of obsessed with it after being out of it for a super long time. But I do like games on here a bit more than this game. I like the JRPG style. I think, to be honest, it's gonna have to be a B and kind of like a lower B. So I've seen people do on these as well that the top in the row will be first, and then so like for example, like Digimon World 3 in this example is better than this. So I'm gonna kind of keep something similar going here. So in the B's, the worse it gets as it goes to the right. Okay, so along with Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, you have Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory, which Hacker's Memory is a game that I enjoy a little bit more than Cyber Sleuth, the original. So I think that for me automatically either puts it here. Oh, does it not let me? Okay. It either puts it here as a top B, but honestly I think it puts it at an A. And that also may be weird to some people, but I think the story is much better in Hacker's Memory. Gameplay is pretty similar, but I'm going to put that in an A and then the original Cyber Sleuth at a B. Okay, Digimon Digital Card Battle. This is also a really hard one because I enjoy this game quite a bit, but it is a video game that is based off of a card game, which doesn't mean that that's a bad thing. I enjoy it for what it is, but I think that this game also is going to have to be a B, and I'm going to put it in the middle. Because I think it just doesn't have enough substance to kind of reach it to the point, honestly, maybe even the lowest B for now. Doesn't really have enough substance and replay value there for me, so I'm going to put it there. Okay, Digimon World DS. This is another tough one because it is very similar to Dusk and Dawn as well, so I might get some hate on this one too, but I think this is also going to have to just be another B game and probably somewhere in this area, maybe higher than the card game. Now, I would say we're seeing a pretty good distribution. We're seeing a good bell curve here so far. We're ending up with a lot of Bs. I think that's a good thing, but we will see with what is yet to come. So Digimon Racing. This is also one that's interesting to think about because we're, obviously we're jumping in different genres and things like that. So my gut is telling me to put it as a B, but I think I will actually put it as a C because I enjoyed my time with it, but it's not really a game I would go back to, and I would consider Battle Spirits 1 and 2 as games I wouldn't really go back to. Digimon Racing I probably wouldn't really go back to. So I think when you're below that B tier and above are all games I would replay again, hands down. And I have pretty much replayed all of these games. So let that be the judge, I guess. So now Digimon World Dawn. Do I think that Digimon World Dawn and Dusk are better than Digimon World DS? Not necessarily. I think it's tough. I actually want to put Digimon World Dawn above Digimon World 3, I think. As kind of the top. It's funny that all these JRPGs are just kind of falling in line here. But I think Dawn may be the best out of these three here. And I do see myself coming back to that one. 3, I think, gets bumped down a little bit. Could have been an A potentially. But because of the way that I've been playing it, I think it penalizes it because the PlayStation 1 way of playing it is very difficult. If I were to perhaps emulate it or something, it may bump it up. But let's leave it like this. So we got all the JRPGs pretty much, plus the card game. Now Digimon Rumble Arena for me is definitely a C. I'll even put it as the lowest of the C's, I think. Actually, maybe Battle Spirits the lowest of the C's, and then that one the second. That just being, I really don't like that type of like arena brawler style gameplay. You can hate on me. I don't really like Smash Brothers that much, any version of that. And that's essentially what Digimon Rumble Arena is. So unfortunately for that reason, pretty much alone, it's going to be a C for me. And then Digimon Rumble Arena 2, I will say I had a lot more fun playing that compared to the first one. So I think that one is going to be in C tier, but the top game of C tier, because I could maybe see myself replaying that potentially if I was playing with friends, whereas the rest of these really not so much. Digimon World Dusk and Dawn are so similar that I think I'm going to put it right next to Dawn, and these two don't really have any specific order in them. Now for Digimon World Championship, this is also a pretty tough game to rank because I really enjoy the concept of it, the innovation of it, but it's not really inherently fun for me. And I do see myself maybe in the future replaying it. So I think for that, it's actually going to be a B on the lowest end possible. Because, like I mentioned, the trading card game I would like to play again. And Digimon World Championship I would probably play again. So it may seem weird that I'm ranking that higher than Digimon Rumble Arena 2. But it is what it is. This is my list, and I feel like I want to put it at a B. Now next we have Digimon All-Star Rumble. This is another one where I think people will hate on me maybe potentially for this, but I think this game is actually pretty good. I had just finished saying that I did not really enjoy these like battle arena, battle rumble type beat 'em up style games, but I feel like this is actually the best of the three, which I really haven't seen anyone else say that. I think it's also just because of those kind of platforming like element levels. I just actually really enjoy those. So I'm actually going to put it in B, and I'm actually going to put it above even the card game and championship, because this is a game that I still pick up every once in a while to try to progress through some achievements and things like that. Now, we're getting to the point where we're getting to the last couple games here. Digimon World 4. This one, I think if you've seen my reviews of the rest of the Digimon games, you know that I'm not a big fan of this game. I guess now the question is, do I think it's bad enough to get the only E ranking in this tier list? Or do I think it's on the same level as Battle Spirit? I will say that I've never had any desire to replay Digimon World 4, and I at least might potentially replay Battle Spirit if somebody challenged me to. If somebody challenged me to replay this, I probably wouldn't. But I'm going to leave it like that. But honestly, these are pretty much equal to me. So, you know what we could do too is we could put these here, and I'm going to put Battle Spirit here. Battle Spirit, I don't really want to play. I don't want to play Digimon World 4. This one's a little bit better, so we put it in D, and then the rest are in C. I'm going to go with that. Okay, now, Digimon World Data Squad is another tough one because compared to a lot of these games, I've probably put around the lowest amount of time into this one. But I'm not really tied to the story of that one. The art style is kind of cool, but I feel like the mechanics in general make this one fairly weak for me. So I think I'm actually going to put this one higher than the original Rumble Arena. I might give it another shot, but it's definitely the lowest of the RPGs on this list so far. So we'll put it there. Now the last two, Digimon World 2. This is a really hard one to judge too because I think the game has amazing cover artwork, and I like the sprite style of the game, but the gameplay is not amazing. It's definitely a dungeon crawler. I enjoy a dungeon crawl from time to time, but it is not something that I play that frequently. And you know, as much as I hate to say this, well, it is one that I would revisit, so I do feel like it needs to be in the B tier, but I think I'm actually going to put it you know what? I'm gonna put it right here. It's the lowest of these RPGs that are in the B tier, but it's still with the best of them. And this game is quite a grind, and I think these days I'm finding myself, I may have to force myself to play the game because I wanted to get through it, but I'm just not really seeing that happen in my near future. So that leaves us with the big boy, or the last final video game on this list for Digimon, which is the original Digimon World. And I think this is another tough one for me to rank because this is kind of what started it all for me. It was one of the first Digimon things I was ever exposed to other than the anime. And even though the game is by no means a perfect game, I really enjoy its jankiness and things related to it. But I think for sake of this tier list and trying to kind of spread things out, and also thinking in my brain, like, okay, if I'm considering Digimon World Next Order as my S, I really only want to have one S. And Digimon World is pretty much the same game, but much harder for me to get into. And because of nostalgia, I'm still going to put it as my top A. So that makes the S game and the top A game both Digimon World games, followed by Digimon Survive, Digimon Cyber Sleuth, Hacker's Memory, and then the slew of other RPGs, a couple other odd and end games that I would play again, followed by the C tier, which is pretty much games that I've played but don't plan on playing again, and then D&E just being the 2 Battle Spirits game and Digimon World 4. So that wraps up the tier list. So I would love to hear what you guys think in the comments. Tear me apart, tell me which parts you agreed with, and let me know what you guys would want to see for another Digimon video in the future. Till the next time, peace out.